perfect throw.
It was not a perfect throw.
Nah, you got one.
You're not a perfect throw.
Who's gonna get two?
Maybe
We're just Hunter, you're proving our point that you're.
Walk away.
All right, listen up. So the notes
Shut up.
that I handed out
What do you
are
want?
actually for today and tomorrow. So you wanna make sure you keep these, please close your math books. So, yesterday we talked about, the slope formula and we,
He won't
Sit
sit down.
down, Riley. Riley, bro, it's
I am
every
not-
day she has to ask you to sit down. Why don't you be the bigger
Tyler,
person?
I don't need your help.
The bigger person.
Hunter,
Yeah.
what did I just ask?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
getting around.
Hunter.
Okay.
Oh, Riley, I'm just.
So we are doing slope formula, and we did this yesterday, where sometimes when we did slope yesterday, we did slope on the graph and we counted, okay? If you aren't given it on the graph, you have to use the slope formula. We also talked yesterday that there are going to be times where you have a vertical line and you should actually like that because then you can just say your slope is undefined, okay? This isn't in the notes, but this is on your cheat sheet, okay? And then for a horizontal line, we talked about the fact that your slope is 0, okay? Today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about something called point slope formula. And that is a type of equation that you can write an equation for a line, but it's not one that math teachers love to do because there's many different points on the line, and whatever one you choose, your equation is gonna look different because it's based on your point. So it's something in the standards that we have to teach, but it's not something that we like to use, but we still have to show it to you. So that we're gonna talk about today. This we're gonna talk about tomorrow. I would think all of you have done y equals mx plus b before. So that'll be something we do tomorrow. One of the things we're gonna do today is there's going to be times that you are given a point. So let's just say you were given -2, 3, okay? And then what they'll do is they'll tell you a slope. So they could say your slope is -1/2, all right? And the rules for how to do it, how I do it anyway, is if my slope is negative, I go down whatever the top number is, and I always go to the right for the bottom number. I never go to the left. So from this point, I'd go down 1/2, and then I keep going down 1/2. I'm super picky, I'll talk about this when we get to these, but I'm picky with how we do our lines, that we have quite a few points on them, and we use a ruler, which is up here when we do that. If you were given, instead, if you were given a point like maybe 1, actually let's do -1, -2, let's say, okay? And let's say this slope was 3/2, okay? If it's positive, we would go up 3, and then we always go right with the bottom number. So we'd go up 1, 2, 3, 2 to the right, put our point. Up 1, 2, 3, 2 to the right, put our point, and then we would draw that line, okay? Another thing that we're gonna talk about today is we have to determine if lines are parallel or perpendicular. And so you would find the slope on both of them, and if they're the same, that tells you your lines are parallel. And then they have you graph them, and when you graph them, if you do a good job graphing them, you should be able to see too that they're parallel. And then do you guys all know what it means to have perpendicular lines? Do you know what perpendicular lines are like?
Oh, no, they're this. Okay? Or is it like
Those
this?
are parallel, those are all parallel.
Oh, perpendicular is like this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they look like this, right? They form a right angle. And how you know that two lines are perpendicular is they have slopes that are opposite reciprocals or negative reciprocals. So what I mean by that, maybe one of them is 2/3. The other one would be opposite in sign, which so negative, and then it would be the reciprocal of that, which is 3/2. What was that? They meet at a right angle. Okay? What is the opposite reciprocal of -5, do you think? What could you put -5 over without changing it? You could put it over 1. Alright, that one's negative, so this is gonna be positive, and the reciprocal of that is 1/5. Did you guys get that? Okay. So, let's go here really quick. I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but anytime you're going uphill, a line is going uphill, it's gonna have a positive slope. If it's going downhill, you're gonna have a negative slope. If it's a horizontal line, the slope is 0. If it's a vertical line, your slope is undefined, okay? Then, there are 3 different ways that you can write the equation of a line. And when you guys had algebra, you did this, okay? Standard form is something like this. You might have 5x plus 4y equals 10, okay? That's standard form. In our class, we don't deal with standard form, so you don't have to worry about that one. Slope-intercept form we're going to talk about tomorrow, and this is one that I would hope you guys remember. M is your slope, and B is your y-intercept. And so these would look like y equals maybe 3x minus 5, okay? This is your slope. This is where your line crosses the y-axis, so it would cross at -5 down here. Okay, and if its slope is +3, it would look something like that. Okay? What we're gonna deal with today first is called point slope form, and they're gonna tell us the slope of our line, and that will get put in right here. And then they're gonna give us a point on the line. The point, the first coordinate is our x1, and that gets substituted right here. And the second coordinate is our y1, and that gets substituted right there. So these could look like something like y minus 3 equals 1/4 times x plus 4. That would be an example of what it could look like. So we're gonna start there, okay? So if I look right here, they're asking us to write in point slope form, which is this right here. And they are giving us a slope, which is 2/3, that's our M. And then they're giving us a point that our line goes through. And I would pay attention to this because this has been a while since you've done this. Now, that slope gets put right here. That's pretty obvious. But the x and the y go in for your x1 and your y1. So this goes in for the x1, this goes in for the y1. So when I write that final equation, I would go y minus my y1 is a -4, so I'm going to write it like that, equals my m is 2/3, and then it would be x minus, and x1 is a -2. Okay? Now, the only thing you have to change about this is if on one of these sides you have 2 negatives in a row, you change it to what? What happens if you have 2 negatives? Positive. So I would change this to positive and I'd have y plus 4 equals 2/3 times. Does this change to a positive also? Yes. So it'd be x plus 2. That is our equation in point slope form. Okay? That is our equation in point slope form. Notice I have an x and I have a y. Okay? Now, the other thing that we have to do on this type of question, Juan, stay with us, is we have to graph the point, or the line, I'm sorry. So what we're gonna do when we graph it is we're gonna first graph -2, -4 on our graph. So today I printed your worksheet and the graph is there. So we'd go to -2, -4 like that. And notice our slope is +2/3. Now, on your cheat sheet, you guys, you have these notes right here. And what they say is if your slope is positive, we go up and to the right. If it's negative, we go down and to the right. So I'm gonna go back to where I'm at. Mine's +2/3. So that means I go up 2, right 3. Okay? So what I do from that point is I go up 2 points and over 1, 2, 3, and I put a dot. Now, I am super picky about how you guys do your graphs. So what I want you to do, why are we getting that?
I want a ruler.
I asked that.
Can you grab one, Callie?
What?
I think we're good for now. You can just sketch them for this, but when you get to the homework, you
I
can
want
do
to
a
be perfect
ruler.
like you.
Where did the one in that bottom left come from?
This point?
Yeah.
Okay, quiet. They gave us a point, -2, -4, so I went here and I plotted that. Okay, do you get that?
And you know how it says like 2/3? Aren't you supposed to go like side to side first?
You do it that way when you're plotting a point, but with slope, we go up and to the right or down and to the right. So what I do, so I was saying I'm super picky. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna continue going up 2/3 and putting a point, up 2/3 and putting a point, up 2/3 and putting a point. And then you're gonna grab a ruler if you're doing your assignment and you're gonna draw the best line that you can through this. Okay? And so
How many
when
points do you want
you
at
are
least?
done,
If you want,
I usually just keep doing it until I run out.
so you want us to do that?
Yeah. Okay, here's one thing, you guys. When I grade lines, you guys are having, I pushed your quiz off to Monday. When we do that quiz on Monday, I will get people that will turn in a line like this. You're not gonna get much credit at all. I want your line going through the entire graph with arrows on both ends. Okay, so if you want credit, that's what you have to do. Okay? So that is one like this. We're gonna do one more. Let's do one, okay? Alright, so let's go to this one. And again, in these problems, they're gonna tell you what your slope is, and they're gonna tell you a point that your line goes through. Okay, they'll always tell you that. Now the first thing we always do is we have to write our equation. And again, the m goes in here. Does the -3 go in for x or x1? X1, very good. And the -5 goes in for y1. Okay? So now I write that and I go y minus a -5 equals my m is 4, and then it's x minus my negative, or my x1 is -3. Now, what you do from this point, if these were both just x plus 3 and y plus 5, you wouldn't have to rewrite it. But most times you're going to get a case where you have two negatives in a row, and you're going to just, you guys all get two negatives become positive. So we're going to write y plus 5 equals 4 times x plus 3. And that is my answer.
Okay, so Bob.
Yeah.
I have a question. When you go to graph it, right?
Yep.
You do your -3, -5.
Yep.
But it's just 4, so you just keep going up 4.
And then, good question. That 4 you think of as it's over 1. So you go up 4 over 1, okay? So let's plot -3, -5 down here. And then what Tyler was saying is your slope is 4 over 1. If it's positive, you guys, you go up and to the right. If it's negative, you go down and to the right. So this one happens to be positive again. So I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And then you keep doing that until you run out of graph. So up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And then I'm gonna run out. So that is my graph. And then I just use a ruler, and you're gonna draw your line through that. Okay, everybody understand that type of question? Okay, everybody's good there? All right, now we have a second type that we're gonna do today. This one's probably easier, okay? So first of all, parallel lines have the same slope, and I think you guys all know parallel lines look like this, okay? So if you found the slope of one to be 2/3, the other one should be 2/3, okay? Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocals or opposite reciprocals, and perpendicular lines are gonna look like this so that they form like a right angle. What those look like is if one is positive, the other one is negative, and then you flip the fraction. So if it's 2 over 3, this is -3 over 2. So what would the negative reciprocal of a positive 3 be? -3 or -1 over 3. Yep. So that one's positive, this one's negative, but you have to flip it. Okay? This one's positive, so this is negative. What would it be? 3 over 2. Very good. What about -1 over 5? Positive 5 over 1, or some people would write it as 5, whichever way makes more sense to you. Are you guys okay with that? All right. Now, let's go to this page right here. Okay. Now, this is the last type that you're gonna have on your worksheet today. They want us to find the slope between F and G, and then between H and J. We're gonna find it using the slope formula. So here's what I would do. F is 3/6, and G is -9/2. Okay? So here's what I'm gonna do. Using the slope formula, I am going to subtract my y's on top. We did this yesterday. So I would go 2 minus 6 on top. And then on the bottom, I subtract my x's in the same order. So I go -9 minus 3. Now I have to simplify the top and the bottom. What is 2 minus 6? -4. What is -9 subtract 3? negative 12. Negative 12. When they're both negative, you add them. Now, do you guys understand when you reduce a negative over a negative, doesn't it become positive? Right? And it's 1/3 because 4 goes in here once and 4 goes in there 3 times. Very good. Now what we're gonna do is plot those 2 points and draw a line through them. So let's do that. Let's come over here. And I would go over 3 up 6, and I don't have to use the slope on this one. I can just plot my 2 points. Yeah, question?
Should it be like negative one over here?
Well, they were both negative, so a negative divided by a negative is positive. Okay, good question though. Now, you could keep going with the slope on this one, but it's easier just to plot these 2 and connect them. So G is -9 up 2. This is a good example, so I'd label this as my F, this is my G. This is a good example of one where it's good to have a ruler, because otherwise your line's gonna look bad like mine is here. And so you're gonna draw through F and G, okay? Now we have to do the same thing between H and J. So H is 5, 4. And J is 2, 3. And we're gonna find the slope between them, okay? So the first thing I do is subtract my y's. So I go 3 minus 4. On the bottom, I subtract my x's. So I go 2 minus 5. What is 3 minus 4?
Negative 1.
Very good. What is 2 minus
Negative.
5? -3.
I said the first one.
What happens when we have a negative divided by a negative? It's positive 1/3. Now, let's look, because that's 1/3. This is 1/3. And our big question is, we have to say, are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? They're parallel. They're parallel because they're the same. So one of our answers, you guys, is gonna be parallel, all right? Then we have to go back and plot these 2 points and graph them, and those lines should look parallel, yeah?
What would it either be?
It would just be like, one of them would be maybe 1/3 and the other one would be 3/4
So
or
what would the
something.
other one be?
What do you mean?
Not perpendicular.
What are you talking about, Leonard?
What's the other one again? Parallel?
Parallel, so they're not like this, they're not like this. They could be like one at this angle and one like way out here.
No, what is that?
That would be neither. Or one like this and one like that.
Good question.
So they're not parallel and they don't meet at a right angle. But how you can tell is their slopes would not be the same and their slopes would not be negative reciprocals. Okay? So let's plot H is 5, 4 and J is 2, 3. So again, when you, yep,
On example 6, there's no printing here.
is there?
Yeah,
So you
it
go
covers
right
up
there.
the part.
Oh, okay. All right. So again, when you go to graph, like you'll notice here my line is really bad. So they should be parallel, but because I didn't use a ruler, they don't really look like it. So that's why you want to use a ruler. So you have to find this slope, you have to graph them, you find the other slope, and you say whether it's parallel or perpendicular or neither. So let's do one more and then I'll be done
Yeah,
for
what
today.
Sting said, row on 6 is.
So F is 1, 1. G is -1, -5. Okay? So you said there's a,
Hey, Dan. Stay with us.
Yeah,
man.
it's just.
is it just like from the copy machine?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I have to do here is I have to find my slope. So I'm going to subtract my y's, which is -5 minus 1 over -1 minus 1. Okay? Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. What's a negative 6 divided by a negative 2? It's 3. Very good. Okay. All right, now let's look at H and J. H is 3, 2. And J was, let's see, 6, 1. And I need to find the slope. So I subtract my y's on the top, which is 1 minus 2. And then I subtract my x's on the bottom, which is 6 minus 3. What is 1 minus 2? Negative 1. What's 6 minus 3? 3. Look at these two slopes. Are they negative reciprocals?
Sure thing.
3 and negative 1/3. Do you get they are? Right? So that tells us our lines are perpendicular. Do you guys get that? If your slopes are negative reciprocals, your lines are perpendicular. Then what we have left is we have to plot the 2 points. F is 1, 1, which is right here. G is negative 1, negative 5, which is right here. So again, not a great one if I don't have a ruler, but it's going to be something. Oh, that's really bad.
I tried on the board.
So this is F
Yeah, that landed in.
and this is G. Okay? No.
Go up there.
So now what we're gonna do, quiet. Now we have 3, 2, which is 3, 2, and 6, 1. Okay? And then again, Tyler, zip it.
Tyler, come on, Tyler.
That one looks like this. And H is right here. And J is right there. Now, do those look like, especially if you had a ruler, do they look like they could meet at a right angle?
I'll say
Sure.
so.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the square.
Okay. So, I'm going to give you guys a worksheet.
Tyler.
Let's do Delta
Man,
Man.
I was
Tyler,
teasing
Tyler,
you.
can you stop talking? Tyler's supposed to see you guys.
Over here. And got over here.
Tyler.
We're talking about you the whole time.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Logan.
Don't agree with that.
Oh wait, what? No, no.
Logan, you were talking about her when you were doing it?
Oh no, no, no. I was talking about lanes.
No, he was talking about you. Explained it to you.
No, I was not.
Skin
Then he started talking about Rowan.
Riley, sit down. Riley.
And then I thought they broke up though.
They never broke up.
Boy, I see you.
She give me a rule. When did I ever say about someone's
Rotate,
mom?
please.
His girlfriend.
When did they break up?
I thought you guys were talking about it.
Riley, yeah, you should grab it
Skip
really.
it, please.
No, I
Now
said
you're
that
gonna
now.
go on that.
No, I told her that I never said he agreed. They were just talking about it. Nothing. I just wasn't concerned you. Just making sure.
We're staying in our seats until our assignment is done, remember? If it's okay with her.
Oh. If you forget again, it's that.
One, only if she sends me a message.
She did.
She hasn't.
What?
She hasn't yet. So,
Riley, we're grabbing a ruler.
Put it on my desk.
Please.
Thank you. Sophia. Yes, please. I use the restroom.
yes.
Thanks, please, Riley.
I'll grab this ruler.
Brett, do you want a ruler?
Thanks, Dan.
All right, we should